And welcome back to Lilly Field for Game 2 of this PSAC Easter Saturday doubleheader between the California Vulcans and the Golden Knights again. And I'm Gary Smith, and thanks for joining us for Game number 2. California, if you joined us in Game number 1, an exciting win, scoring 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning to take the 8-4 win. But Game 2 is a different ball game. We've got different pitchers, different players, so let's take a look at the starting lineup first for the Gannon Golden Knights. Leading off, playing second base, Sadie Carroll. Batting second, playing right field, Emma Smerick. Batting third, playing first base, Natalie Milazzo. And then Destiny Grace, designated player, Abby Gurman. Elena Whipke playing shortstop, Mia Ryan at third base, Bella Atherton at catcher, and then center fielder Kennedy Maynard. In the circle today for Game number 2 for the Vulcans, freshman left-handed pitcher McKenna Curran. We saw her start Game number 2 on Tuesday afternoon in the windstorm. So we're set for the first pitch. Hit into center field, 1 pitch and 1 out. Fly ball to the center fielder for California, Brianna Strasevic. And that'll bring out Emma Smerick. In the first game, Emma Smerick led off. She had a run and a hit. She also struck out in her plate appearances in Game number 1. So McKenna Curran coming into this game, 11.40 ERA, 0-4 record. First pitch slow into the dirt for a ball. You can hear in our crowd mic, the wind's starting to freshen up a little bit. The app I was using showed a little bit of wind gusts coming in between 1 and 2 o'clock. So that's right in the window we are in now. So we'll see how it affects play. Here's the 1-0. Bunt attempt straight down into the foul territory behind the plate. So that'll be a 1-1 count. Battery mate for Curran is junior Bailey Britannia. She caught Game number 1. Again, an exciting first game, was tied 4-4, and then 2 home runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, one by Carolina Fiorelli, the other one by Amara McCutcheon, and the Vulcans pieced together 2 other runs to get an 8-4 win. There's a nice off-speed pitch for a strike, so 1-2. So this is Game 4 of 4 between the 2 squads this year. Gannon sweeping on the shores of Lake Erie, and California trying to do likewise on the shores, albeit the upper far shores of the Mon River. Here's the 1-2. Slap towards second base, fielded, and over to first, 2 outs. Not a particularly hard hit ball, but Ochtenmeyer doing a great job staying down on it and getting the second out of the first inning.
Number 1, Natalia Malazzi.
And that'll bring up Natalia Malazzi, the first baseman, senior left-handed batter. So 2 straight left-handers to face the left-handed Curran. Malazzi, at least in Game 1, it seems like she's a bit of a team leader, calming some of the players down in the circle after a couple of those home runs. First pitch to Malazzi for a strike. So Curran definitely looks a lot more comfortable today in this start than she did in Tuesday's second game. Here's the 0-1. Ball drifts high and outside for a ball. Behind the plate in this game is Davis Berry, and in the field, umpire Bo Davis. 1-1, 2 outs here in top of the first. There's Curran's pitch. Just stayed a little too far to the inside part of the plate. Goes to 2-1. So Curran stepping back in, slowing down just a little bit. Here's the 2-1. Swung on, hit down the right field line. It gets down, so that'll be a single as it drops down right in front of Linkus, and that'll be the first base hit of this second game for the Gannon Golden Knights. And that'll bring up the clean-up hitter, Destiny Garcia.
Next at bat, designated player number 33, Destiny Garcia.
And Destiny Garcia did not appear in game number 1 as I check my cheat sheet. So this will be her first at-bat of the game. First pitch low and away. Garcia, a freshman for this Gannon squad. So Kern waiting a little bit while a little bit of dust goes through. Here's the 1-0. Garcia looks at it, low and away, ball 2. So Kern out of the circle to regroup, trying to get out of the top of the first inning with no harm, no foul. Here's the 2-0. Low and in the dirt, ball 3. Should Garcia get on, that'll bring up the number 5 hitter, the left fielder, Abby Gurman. And here's the 3-0 to Garcia. High and inside, ball 4. So that puts 2 runners on, and that'll bring up Gurman. And Gurman, in game number 1, was involved in a pretty scary situation when herself and the center fielder, Jenna Klontz, collided on a ball into the gap. But definitely fought that off, stayed in the game, but it was a scary couple of minutes here. Another ball, 5 straight balls from the Vulcan southpaw. Gurman with a runner in scoring position, chance to get the run started early. Shows bunt, pulls back, throw to third. And both runners advance on the throw to third. That's a ball. But now you have 2 runners in scoring position for the Golden Knights. Really good bit of softball right there. Showed the bunt. Both runners went. Bertani's throw down to third wasn't in time, and then Garcia said, why not? I'll go to second base. Here's the 2-0, or the 1-1. Swung on, hit down the right field line. Into the corner, the result of which known only to God. So that's a foul. And that'll run the count to 2, 1 and 2. And that ball was stung down the right field line, just kept turning foul. So Kern 1 pitch away from getting out of the top of the first. Ahead in the count 1 and 2, although you have 2 runners in scoring position for Gannon. Here's the pitch, swung on to Hollerich right by the shortstop, and this will score 2. Throw goes to second. Hollerich doing a great job of trying to dive for that ball, but unable to come up with it, and that'll be a 2-0 lead for the Gannon Golden Knights. And that will bring up the former Vulcan, Elena Whipke, the junior shortstop for this Golden Knights team. And a good effort by Hollerich. Just ball stayed down as she dove. Kern's first pitch to Whipke. Off-speed pitch, throw down to second. And that is a stolen base on the first pitch. So Gannon trying to get out of the gates quick here in game number 2. Kern's 1-0. Check swing, and Whipke holds off. Doing a great job of checking her swing there. Ball was just drifting high and inside. So Kern behind 2-0 here in the count. 2 outs here in the first. Fouled right back. Nick Downs did not move this time, so he is learning from Tuesday. Nate Kurtz moved, so we are shambles in the press box. We need Kaylee Rister to calm us down. We're a rudderless ship up here without her today. Kern pitch low and away, ball 3. Runs a count to 3-1. Showed Whipke extend the inning. Mia Ryan, the third baseman, the sophomore, will step into the batter's box. So Kern was within a pitch of getting out of the inning with no runs, gave up a 2-run single. Now has a runner on second via a stolen base. And ball 4. Another walk here in the inning, and that will bring up Ryan to keep this going. Ryan will be the 7th batter in the order. Now there's a timeout as Bertani goes out to talk to her battery mate. So California now, a little high five there between Bertani and Kern. So that'll bring up Ryan. Now that you're through the heart of this Gannon order, can maybe, if you're the pitcher, work a little less cautious. Like I said, try and get out this inning with only 2 runs. First pitch, low and away for a ball. Babcock in game 1 went the whole way, got a win, moving to 7-6. 1-0 from Kern. Catches the corner for a strike, so nice confidence pitch there for Kern. Evens the count to Ryan at 1 apiece. You can probably hear the Gannon dugout in full throat. Off-speed pitch misses high, ball 2. Gannon got out to a lead in game number 1. Got a run in the first inning, but California countered. They matched runs in the first and third inning, and then California got ahead, and then 2 runs for Gannon, and then 5 in the last 2 innings for California gets the win. Here's the pitch, swung on, pops straight up into Bertani's glove, and that ends the inning. So a little spot of bother for the Vulcans, but they get out of it allowing only 2 runs. And the Vulcans will come up to bat while we have a chance. Let's take a look at the tape as it pertained to the beginning or before game 1. Again, between 2 innings, it's very tough. Or between 2 games, it's tough to get anything changed graphics-wise the way we do it. But this just gives an idea of what was going on. Again, the numbers to look at. Team ERA for the Vulcans, 7.27. Gannon, 2.89 as a staff, but California on the offensive side better than average, and everything else is pretty close. And the other thing to look at, Gannon's staff, 268 strikeouts coming into this doubleheader, so they can definitely deal. In the circle for the Golden Knights in game number 2 is the right-handed pitcher Jessica Westmiller. She is a junior, and she is 1-0 in the 2025 campaign. And you can probably hear in the background the theme for Shane McMahon on a WrestleMania weekend. Again, these games moved up from 1 and 3 to 10 and noon due to some weather concerns, and then some further changes necessitated the games being moved 1 hour later to 11 and 1. So as we move to the bottom first, take a look at the Cal lineup. Very similar to the first game. Carlina Fiorelli, Brianna Sursevic, Amara McCutcheon, Michaela Jaron, Caitlin Ochtemeyer, Jenna Hollerick, Kira Davis, Bailey Bertani, and Michaela Linkus. The same 9 and the same order for the Vulcan squad. And Carlina Fiorelli with a opposite field home run, her first of the season in game number 1 in the 6th inning. Started that 4-run explosion on the season, 288 average, 34 hits, 1 home run, 15 RBIs. So Fiorelli waits. The first pitch from Westmiller. Catches the corner outside for a strike. Westmiller, a tall, imposing presence in the circle for the Golden Knights. Here's the 0-1 to Fiorelli. Misses high and inside. Evens the count at 1 apiece. Ball had some velocity behind as it popped the mitt pretty hard of her battery mate, off Atherton. Here's the 1-1. Misses outside for a ball. So Fiorelli, after showing some power in game number 1, being worked a little carefully here as the leadoff batter in game number 2. And here's the 2-1. High and inside, ball 3. So Wes Miller struggling a little bit to Fiorelli. On deck is Brianna Sersevic. See if Fiorelli has the go sign or if she is in a take situation. 3-1, misses low and outside. Ball 4. Excuse me, not a ball 4. Late reaction there, so it runs the count to full. A little understated strike 2 call there by the man in blue. So full count now to Fiorelli. Wes Miller looks down, gets the sign. That one misses high and inside. There's the ball 4, and the first batter reaches for California. That'll bring up the Vulcan center fielder,
Number 14, Brianna
Sersevic.
Sersevic.
Sersevic in game number 1 went 1 for 3 with an RBI. On the season, batting .313, has started all 39 games in which she has appeared. So we'll see if California, much like they did in game 1, gave up a marker in the top of the first. See if they can get 2 markers to tie the score. Here's the first pitch. First pitch misses outside for a ball. Outfield shifted way left. Center fielder's basically behind the shortstop. There's a huge gap in right center. So Wes Miller's 1-0. Right over the heart of the plate for a strike. Evens the count at 1. And the wind freshening up a little bit, blowing out to left center. You can see on the screen some dust bunnies being dug up, or forced up, maybe not dug up, but forced up from the Lily Field turf. Here's the 1-1. Healthy cut, missed by Sersevic. Runs the count 2-1-2. And Sersevic, had she connected, that ball looked like the swing would have put it in right center. She might be running forever. Here's the 1-2 to Sersevic. Hit into left field, and an easy play for the left fielder for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the number 3 hitter for California in the form of Amara McCutcheon. Amara McCutcheon hit an absolute no-doubter in game number 1.
Number 33.
She had 1 run, or 2 runs, 1 hit, drove in 1 on the solo shot. And she easily could have had probably a second home run. She hit a towering shot that was about 40 feet foul, but she straightened it out later in the game and gave the Vulcans a much-needed extra run. Here's the first pitch to McCutcheon. Outside, ball 1. So McCutcheon has a little chuckle with the umpire as the dust pulls up again. Again, the wind's starting to freshen up quite a bit here at Lily Field. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. McCutcheon trying to put that in the exact same divot where that ball hit in game number 1 in inning number 6. So the 1-1 from Wes Miller to McCutcheon. Runner on first here, bottom of the first. Fastball on the outside for strike 2. Nice pitch by Wes Miller. Seems like she might have the highest velocity of any of the Gannon hurlers that we've seen in this game, or this doubleheader thus far. 1-2 to McCutcheon. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So the first strikeout of the game for Wes Miller, and that'll be the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter. Third baseman Michaela Jaron. In the first game, Jaron went 2 for 4 with a run batted in. Jaron trying to extend this inning. First pitch, low for a ball. Jaron coming into this game, .337 average, No home runs, 18 RBIs. Right on the corner for a strike. Nice pitch by Wes Miller. And that evens the count at 1 apiece. Wes Miller checking the signs. Outfield playing pretty much straight up to Jaron. Hit down the right field line, and that will go out of play for strike number 2. So Wes Miller 1 pitch away from getting out of this top of the first. Beautiful run of days here in Western Pennsylvania. We're out at EQT Park yesterday for gorgeous doubleheader afternoon for Vulcan baseball. Here's the 1-2, misses outside. Vulcans concluding a sweep of the Crimson Hawks. 2 games at Thursday at IUP, 2 games yesterday in Washington, and then coming in today. Expected weather is going to hopefully stay north of us, so a beautiful spring afternoon here at Lilly Field. Count is even at 2 apiece. Pitch just high and maybe a tad outside. Runs the count to full. So payoff pitch for Jaron. 2 outs, runner at first will be running like the wind on any contact, so a chance maybe to get a run if something gets into a gap or down the line. And that misses outside, gets to the backstop, but runner unable to advance. So now you have 2 runners on, 2 outs, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Caitlin Ochtemeyer.
Number 5, Caitlin Ochtemeyer.
An Ochtemeyer 351 average on the year. Game number 1, she went 3 for 4, 2 runs, and an RBI. So a thorn in the side of the Golden Knights. Chink in the armor, perhaps, of the Golden Knights was Caitlin Ochtemeyer. She has the power to go yard. And 2 home runs, 18 RBIs, 1 triple, 9 doubles. Slugging .500. Pitch for a strike. Wes Miller just not afraid to go first pitch right down the middle against Ochtemeyer. Deliberate pace by Wes Miller. Here's her 0-1. Misses high and outside for a ball. Atherton doing a good job of keeping that from going to the backstop, so no advances for the runners. So the 1-1 popped up. It's going to be out of the reach of Atherton. Runs the count to 1-2. I think that pop-up kind of surprised her. She got out of her stance pretty quickly, but it's kind of in a weird spot. So by the time she turned, the ball had already pretty much hit the ground. But it is another strike. But we'll see if Ochtemeyer can make Gannon pay for that missed opportunity. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So 2 strikeouts for Wes Miller, and that will end the inning. So as we move to the bottom of the top of the second, we've played 1 full here in Lilly Field in game number 2. Your score, the Gannon Golden Knights 2 and the California Vulcans 0. We'll be back after these messages. You're watching Vulcan Softball on the PSAC Digital Network, CTV Sports 1, and the CTV Cablecast family of networks.
Vulcans, the anticipation was real. The Student Activities Board is excited to announce that this year's concert will be Rich the Kid. The concert will be held on April 24th, 2025, with doors opening at 7 p.m. The concert begins at 8 p.m. with Penn West California's very own DJ Pinky and DJ Sharpetta battling, followed by local DJ Rocco Magone. Tickets are open to all students and the public. Student tickets are at a discounted rate of $10 to $15 and allow for floor access. Public tickets are $15 and only for the bowl access. Get your tickets today. You won't want to miss.
And welcome back to Lilly Field for the top of the second inning. As you saw there, the commercial for the Rich the Kid concert coming up this week. A note that there's a change of venue from whenever that commercial was produced about a month and a half ago when it was announced. The concert will not be in the Convocation Center as originally advertised. It will be in the Elma Natali Student Center, same time and everything else. But the venue has changed, so if you go to the Convocation Center on Thursday night, you will be by yourself because the Rich the Kid concert will be in the Elma Natali Student Center Performance Center. But we have a few business items to take care of, most notably innings 2 through 7 here at Lilyfield. Next batter for the Golden Knights, the catcher, Bella Atherton, sophomore. First pitch misses for a ball. Atherton did not appear in game number 1 as Lindsey Brewer was the backstop for the Golden Knights. Here's the 1-0. Off-speed pitch misses high. So both pitchers working themselves into jams here in the first inning in 2 pitches. Here's the 2-0. Swung on, hit high to center fielder. Coming on will be Srcevic, and the first out of the inning is recorded, and that will bring up the number 9 hole hitter for the Gannon Golden Knights, and that will be the center fielder, Kennedy Maynard. And again, Maynard did not appear in game number 1. Maynard is a freshman. And then the lineup flips over to 00, Sadie Carroll. So Maynard awaiting the lefty's first pitch. Misses low and away, ball 1. Good crowd here at Lilyfield. You can see in the left center field area behind the fence, a lot of Gannon fans. There's the 1-0. High pop-up. Davis calling everybody off and does not make the catch. And that, I believe, will be an error on the Vulcan first baseman. And that will put a runner on first and bring up the top of the order. Sadie Carroll will have her second at-bat of the game in the second inning of the game. Again, Davis fighting off the sun and the wind over there, but that's a catch you probably should make 90% of the time. That's the second time this week we have seen play like that in Lilyfield's infield. The other day in game number 1, pop up to the third baseman for UPJ, hit the ground, and got a Vulcan walk-off rally started. Here's the 1-0. High to the backstop, runner will advance. Bertani tried in vain, but was unable to keep that from hitting the bricks behind her, and that will have an RBI opportunity for Sadie Carroll. So Carroll stepping back in, 2-0 count. Take all the way, good pitch by Curran for a strike. Again, a good amount of fans between the foul pole in right center field, good amount of fans in center field, and some fans sprinkled in by the scoreboard in right field. So a lot of people taking advantage of this Easter weekend. High fly ball to center field, going back and making the catch. Throw to third. There will be an advance as the throw goes up the line, but 2 outs, and the Vulcans will take that. They will trade an out, the second out of the inning, for some real estate, and that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Emma Smirk. Smerrick, her second at-bat of this game, left-handed batter for the Golden Knights. So runner at third on the sacrifice, 2 outs. Again, Curran trying to get out without any damage. Nice pitch there. Ball had some great lateral movement, and there was nothing that Smerrick could do but just watch it go by to Bertani's mitt. So Curran working 0-1, showing bunt, pull back bunt, half swing attempt equals a strike. That's math that even I can do. And now once again Curran, 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. So Curran 0-2 in the dirt. Smerrick was not tempted. Runs the count 2-1-2. we have the wind picking up, both audibly and visually. One, two now for Kern. Lefty on lefty. There's the pitch. Rolls it, hits the backstop. Throw to the plate, and the run comes home. Throw might have been in time, but was behind her, and that will be the third run and a 2-2 count. Brittany, I think, got the throw to Kern, or the throw was in the vicinity of the home plate in time, but I think it was just too far out of Kern's reach. So a third run now, 2-2, 2 outs. So move the Gannon bus is pulled up right behind us, which is interesting as we got 5 innings to go. Pop up towards center field, coming on, and hits the ground, and the runner will go to second. That was a valiant effort by Srcevic, but diving catch not made, and that'll be a double, and the inning continues for the Golden Knights, and that will bring up Malazzi.
Number 1, Natalia Malazzi.
Malazzi stepping in against Kern. 3 runs across now for the Golden Knights. 2 in the first, 1 in the second. Runner in scoring position now for the first baseman. Malazzi in game number 1, 1 for 4 with the runs. No runs batted in. Takes the first pitch for a strike. So the 0-1 from Curran outside for a ball. Full day of activity here in addition to this doubleheader. The Vulcan tennis team in action against Clarion this morning with the win. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit towards left field. Coming on and making the catch for the Vulcans is Fiorelli, but the Golden Knights get a run and run the score 2-2-1. We have a minute. Let's take a look at what the PSAC West standings were before the game. And a note to finish up with the Vulcan tennis team. They will be in the PSAC tournament for the first time since 2016. But as you see there, both these teams in the middle of the PSAC standings. Gannon had a few game lead on the Vulcans coming into the game. Excuse me, 14-10 now in the conference. California moving up to 9-10, 12-17 overall. So 3-game win streak for the Vulcans this week. 2 walk-off wins on Tuesday, and then they were off until today. Gannon played yesterday at Seton Hill, and then they spent the night in western Pennsylvania. Got here about 8 o'clock this morning.
Number 18, Jenna Hollerick.
And that'll bring up the Vulcan shortstop, Jenna Hollerick. Made a heck of a diving attempt in the first inning, was unable to make the play, but a valiant effort nonetheless, and see if she can lead things off for the Vulcans. Westmoreland's first pitch, high to the backstop and a ball. And a wry little smile going across the face of the junior right-handed pitcher for the Golden Knights. Outfield playing Hollerick pretty much straight up. Here's the 1-0. Good frame job by Atherton on the outside. Evens the counts at 1 apiece. So Hollerick readjusts and steps back in. 1-1 count. Swing and just down the third base line, but foul. And Hollerick goes behind the count 2-1. Or 1-2, excuse me. So Hollerick stepping back in, trailing 1-2, trying to get the Vulcans off and running here in the bottom of the second inning. Slap down to first. 3 unassisted, and that'll be the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the next batter for the Vulcans, Kira Davis.
Next at bat, number 21.
Davis went 1-4 in game number 1.
Davis.
On the season, batting .244. 3 home runs, 21 RBIs for the local product out of Connellsville, Pennsylvania. Just the audio board, nothing to see here. First pitch for a strike as I try to get comfortable. That's never something you want to do. But now I am comfortable. Davis is uncomfortable in an 0-1 count, and we move on. There's the 0-1, misses outside for a ball. Davis stepping back in. 1-1 count for Davis. Swing and a miss. That pitch was dipping outside the whole way, and Davis unable to catch up to that and work it into the opposite field. So 1-2 now for the Vulcan first baseman. Wes Miller's pitch just misses low, evens the count at 2 apiece. Atherton really tried to hold that pitch a long time to show the umpire, but umpire did not buy it, and the count goes to 2-2. Davis slaps one to second, so 4. E4 did not quite see what happened, but there is a runner on first by way of an error. So the Vulcans, Kira Davis,
number 10, Bailey.
will bring up the backstop Bailey Bertani, 244 on the season. So how many times have we seen in baseball and softball that an error leads to a run? That was about as routine as a 4-3 putout as you can get. First pitch low for a ball. Getting where the foot came off the back, so the throw pulled her off. Thank you to James Anderson, our cameraman, who I was trying to look through to see the play, but unable to as I have glasses but no x-ray vision, unfortunately. Ball just fouled out of play down the third base line, evens count at 1 apiece. And that was actually a question on our good friend James Salvatore's web show, What's Up Vulcans, a few weeks ago. If you had a superpower, what would it be? One count as the wind shifts a little bit. Off-speed pitch. Bertani goes fishing, comes up empty. Runs the count on 1-2. I think the number one superpower that people asked for was the ability to know what was in Gold Rush. Sometimes that information is kept very secret. 1-2, 1 out. Ball misses low and outside. On deck is Michaela Linkus, the hero of Game 2 Tuesday afternoon. Walk-off single for her. So 2-2 count. Bertani swing and a miss, strike 3. So 2 outs. Little off-speed number there, and Wes Miller gets another strikeout, and that'll bring up the number 9 hitter for the California Vulcans in the form of Michaela Linkus. Linkus, a .255 hitter on the year. 13 runs, 13 hits, and 4 runs batted in. So I'm pausing Linkus a little bit to let a little bit of this wind die down. As it's definitely shifted here. Usually the wind will go from first base into left field, and it's predominantly doing that today as that's a ball, but it is shifting a little bit sometimes to move the opposite direction, which you don't normally see up here at Roadman Park and Lily Field. So the 1-0 count. Catches the outside corner for a strike. Nice pitch. And a nice frame by Atherton. I happen to look down, and Atherton may have one of the best helmets we have seen here in Division II this year. Here's the 1-1. Right at the knees for strike two, off speed. And Westmiller a strike away from getting out of this inning and not having that error affect the scoreboard at all. Should Linkus get up or get on, the lineup will turn over. Here's the 1-2. Slap towards short, fielded, throw over to second, and that ends the inning. So the Vulcans get one by way of an error, but unable to get the run home. So after 2 full here at Lily Field, the Gannon Golden Knights lead your California Vulcans by the score of 3-0. We'll be back after this break. You're watching Vulcan Softball right here on CTV Sports 1, the PSAC Digital Network, and the CUTV family of cable networks.
Sports fans, we cheer on our favorite teams at fields, gyms, arenas, and stadiums. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a referee? Verbal abuse from fans, parents, and coaches is the #1 reason why many referees are walking away. And they're not being replaced quickly enough by new ones. So put yourself in the official shoes, act with respect, and be officially human.
And welcome back to Lily Field, and happy Easter weekend and happy WrestleMania weekend to everyone who celebrates both holidays, as today will be the first night of WrestleMania 41, but we have some business to take care of before we order some hoagies and salads and enjoy the evening as we move into the top of the third. Gannon leading 3-0. Curran still in the circle for the Vulcans. Leading off is number 33, Destiny Garcia. First pitch from Curran, low and away, ball one. Garcia did not appear in game number 1 for Gannon, so designated player in game number 2, getting her second at bat. Pitch high and inside, ball 2. Curran stepping back in, trying to fight back in this count, down 2-0. Swung on and hit down the third base line. Fielded, throw over to first. And a 5-3 put out for out number 1 here in the top of the third inning. So that'll bring up the left fielder, Abby Gurman.
23, Abby Gurman.
Well, a good job by Jaron just to cut off that ball. She knew she had a little bit of time to get it to first, didn't panic and got the out. So first out of the top of the third. So this inning you have the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for Gannon. First pitch swinging, fly ball to center field. Coming on and making the catch is Sursevic, and that'll be a quick out number 2 here in the top of the third. And that will bring up the shortstop, Whipke, for Gannon.
Next at bat, number 15, Elena Whipke.
Elena Whipke trying to keep the line moving for the Golden Knights here in the top of the third. Curran trying to earn her first 1-2-3 inning of the afternoon. First pitch just gets the outside part of the plate. Again, nice lateral movement on that pitch from Curran. And the freshman for the Vulcans, 12 appearances, 8 starts, 0-4. Started again game number 2 when we saw this team on Tuesdays. That pitch misses, so So the same two pitchers in rotation this week for the Vulcans, Babcock and Curran. Swing and a miss, took something off, and Whipke was trying to hit 1-2 the downs, and now it's 1-2. And Curran again has a chance to get out of this with a 1-2-3 inning. So Curran's 1-2 high for a ball at eye level. Good take. Sometimes a hitter will see that at the eye level and get is what we used to call growing up Cookie Monster eyes. The eyes go big and you swing and you come up empty. 2-2 pitch now. Swung on, hit high left field, going back to the wall. Hits the wall. That'll be extra bases. As it almost looked like Fiorelli might have knocked it down and kept it in the park, but a two-base, two-out hit for the Golden Knights, and that will keep the lineup going with third baseman Mia Ryan.
Next at bat, number 26, Mia Ryan.
Fiorelli trying to get to that ball again. Kind of hard to see if she had that ball above the fence or if it hit the fence and then she got it, but good job of recovering and keeping that only to a double. So hopefully for the Vulcans, this doesn't mean anything, just a double, and you get out of the inning regardless. First pitch low and away for a ball. So Fiorelli having some fun with the fans seated behind the fence in left field. Have a menagerie of lawn chairs as the pitch gets the inside part of the plate. Lawn chairs and umbrellas. Looks very comfortable out there in left center field. Beautiful day here today. Again, it looks like the anticipated rain might stay north of us. 1-1 pitch misses on the inside. 4-2-1. Gannon bus has pulled back in very early for their departure, as we are only in the third inning. Pitch misses on the inside. Count goes 2-3-1. So 3-1 pitch, runner at second, 2 outs here. Top of the third, Curran's 3-1. Hit towards the first baseman, and Keira Davis snags that, and that will be out number 3. So we move to between innings. Well, I have a second. As I find my graphics, want to give a shout out to a good friend of ours at CUTV, one of my classmates and good friends, Randy Page, who is battling some health issues, and hopefully if I send him this picture, he will tune into the webcast and check back in. But I had the pleasure of announcing many games with Mr. Page, high school football, Vulcan basketball, and everything like that. So, again, like to give him a shout out and hope he's going to be back on the mend, because I have some money to win off of him at golf here in a couple weeks. Well, we also have a second. Let's take a look at some of the team leaders for these teams. Is again, between games, we didn't have really a lot of time to change, but you can just kind of see some of the names that are important. Smerick for Gannon, a couple players with 2 home runs, and Klontz with RBIs. McCutcheon hitting her 7th and team leading home run earlier, leading in a variety of categories. And if you're California, want to get a couple runners on here in inning number 3.
Bat for California, number 4, Carlina Fiorelli.
And that'll bring up Carlina Fiorelli. Always seems to have a smile on her face whenever we see her before the games. Also, like I said, after that double, having some fun with the fans from Gannon sitting in left field. So bottom of the third. Wes Miller in her third inning of work here for the Golden Knights. First pitch misses high for a ball. Second pitch misses outside for a ball. So Fiorelli, leadoff hitter. Outfield shading her to left center. Fiorelli taking, looks at a strike. So Wes Miller trying to fight back into the count. Here's the 2-1. Misses high and inside for ball 3. On deck is center fielder Brianna Sursevic. So top of the order. So hopefully California get a little bit of a rally going here. Here's the 3-1. Swung on, fouled. Deep into the woods, so that'll run the count to full. Going to need to get some off and a trail of breadcrumbs to find that ball as far as it went into the ravine. Payoff pitch now for Fiorelli. Misses low and outside, so the Vulcans have a leadoff runner on, and that'll bring up Brianna Sursevic, the senior center fielder.
Next up after the Vulcans, number 14, Brianna Sursevic.
Sursevic. No home runs on the season. 23 RBIs, though, which places her second on the team behind Amara McCutcheon. So 2-hole hitter, see if she's swinging away or maybe trying to move the runner over, try and get into scoring position. Showed bunt, low and away for a ball. Now a meeting on the mound. First little bit of issues with Wes Miller, walking the leadoff batter and then getting behind 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. We'll see how long the ump lets this go. Now Atherton and everybody will break it up and go back to it at 1-0. One 0 count now for Sursevic. Misses low and away, ball 2. So Wes Miller having trouble finding the mid here, and something that'll drive a coach crazy is giving up free bases, giving the other team anything easy. Ball just catches the outside part of the plate for a strike. Sursevic steps back out, looks up to the heavens, now will step back in. Being shaded just a smidge down the left field line, and the center fielders over into left center. So big gap in right center. Pitch slapped towards third, snagged. Trying for the double play, but quickly back was Fiorelli, and that's first out of the inning. And that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Amara McCutcheon. And Mia Ryan was on top of that and snagged that and looked the runner back. Didn't have a chance really to make a throw as Fiorelli hadn't moved too far off of first base. So McCutcheon would love another big fly here. First pitch misses low for a ball. So Fiorelli on first. 1 out. 1-0 count to the dangerous Amara McCutcheon. Off-speed pitch goes right across the belt. And McCutcheon, I think, wants that back as that ball could have been hit over the batting cages. Wind is blowing dead to left center field in her power alley. 1-1, 1 out. Atherton helping out her battery mate with a frame job on the outside. Runs the count 2-1-2. So McCutcheon now behind in the count 1-2. Hit left center field. That ball is back, looking up, gone off the batting cage, and a 2-run shot for Amara McCutcheon. And that gets the Vulcans within 1 run here in game number 2. And that ball was absolutely stung at an absolutely perfect time for the Vulcans to get their first hit in game number 2. So they're right back in it as McCutcheon goes yard. And that'll bring up Michaela Jaron. So Jaron will step back in, but Amara McCutcheon's second home run of the afternoon, first in game number 2, and the California Vulcans now trail by a score of 3-2. But that was a no-doubter. Left fielder looking up instantly. So Jaron now with 1 out, trying to keep this party going here in the bottom of the 3rd. So the line score right now, if you're scoring at home, and if you are, God bless you, 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, as there's a strike. That's for Gannon. For the Vulcans, 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 error. Jaron check swing holds up. Atherton looks back. The ump says, nope, no move. But actually, they appeal, and the first base umpire overturns it, so now it's an 0-2. It was going to be close, and now there's a windstorm swarming through the middle of the field. Everybody blinks a little bit of Lilyfield dust out of their eyes, and we reset at 0-2, 1 out. Nobody on, thanks to the McCutcheon 2-run home run. Jaron just watches that waist pitch go waist high and outside. Runs the count 2-1-2. Wes Miller's pitch. Jaron through the hole on the left side, base hit. So Michaela Jaron getting her first hit of game number 2, and the Vulcans keep this party going, and that'll bring up second baseman Caitlin Ochtemeier. As the wind is really starting to become an issue out there. Not quite as gusty as it was Tuesday, but it is very persistent and steady. So Tuesday we had hurricane-like gusts. Today we have steady wind. And again, this is supposed to be with us for a couple hours now. And everyone just has to wait. As you can see on the screen, not too well as everything's moving in or blending in, but I think it's picking up some dirt from the old soccer fields across the way. Ump signals ready for play, so runner on first. 1 out. Ochtemeier watches ball 1 go past. And Ochtemeier would love to get something over the fence and start a little softball Easter egg hunt over the fence in the way of a home run. Swung on, chopped it to third, catches it, throws over to second for the force. Great play there by Ryan as that kind of handcuffed her, but she had enough wherewithal to get the out. And that'll bring up Jenna Hollerick.
Number 18, Jenna Hollerick.
But Ryan, again, kind of handcuffed her, but was able to stay on it and get the out. So 2 outs, 2 in, runner on first for Hollerick. Right on the corner for a strike. So the third hit for the Vulcans. Second hit, excuse me, is the scoreboard again. It's missing a light bulb. Low and away for a ball. Evens the count at 1 apiece. Should Hollerick extend the inning, first baseman Kira Davis will be up. High and inside, ball 2. Two-one pitch. Slap towards short, diving play for the third out, but not before the Vulcans get 2 here in the bottom of the third to draw within 1. So while we have a moment, we're going to take a break. You're watching Vulcan Softball right here on CTV Sports 1, the PSAC Digital Network, and the CUTV family of cable networks.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student athletes. Last year, over 4,000 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, over 70 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
And welcome back to Lilly Field as we move to the top of the 4th inning here. Gannon ahead 3-2, but California on the strength of a 2-run, no doubt job by Amar McCutcheon have drawn within 1 run. So exciting softball this week at Lilly Field. 2 walk-off wins on Tuesday versus UPJ. 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th here in game number 1, and now drawing back within 1 in game number 2. First pitch missed for a ball. So Curran out for her 4th inning of work. And that will be a foul tip. I'm not sure if the umpire saw it as it was a duck, but hit the bat, so that count should be 1-1. Not something you see every day. And in fact, did see it or hear it. So that's a strike. So 1-1 now. Looped foul down the left field line. And 1-2. So see if Curran can take that little bit of good fortune and turn that around to get the first out of the inning here. So Atherton and Maynard, and then the lineup flips over to the leadoff hitter, Sadie Carroll. 1-2 count. And here's the pitch. The Ephus pitch misses high. So the count goes to 2-2. Curran stepping back in, looking to put away the first batter of the inning. Misses high inside, so runs the count to full. Britannia looks back, so I don't know if maybe their signals got crossed, but the ball goes to the backstop. Here's the full count. Swung on, and that is hit very far and very left and very foul. But Atherton was right on it. You can hear the cheering in the background. Our good friend John Sape just posted the question, how long does it take for the teams to come up with the cheers? If you know, hit us up on X at CUTV_PA. Ground ball in the 5-5 hole, and that will be a base hit. Leadoff runner aboard for the Golden Knights. And that will bring up the number 9 hitter, Kennedy Maynard.
Now batting for the Golden Knights, number 8, Kennedy Maynard.
That ball was stung. There was nothing either the left side of the infielders could do. And John Sape at the end of that story was working on cheers for us in the press box. So, again, if you have any suggestions, tweet us what our press box cheers should be, as that bunt goes right back to the netting. Foul for a strike. Always a fun time in the press box here at beautiful, windy Lilly Field. There's the pitch. Pops straight up. Bertani making the catch. First out of the inning. Bertani looking up to try and get the force out, but not enough time to get the runner back at first. So that'll bring up the top of the order with the second baseman, Sadie Carroll. So Carroll coming in. One out here, top 4. Curran's first pitch. Good job of Bertani to get in front of that. And Bertani is going to earn some ice and Advil after this game, as she's been very active behind the plate. And in game 1, she had a little bit of a collision at the plate. Nothing to the extreme of what happened in left center field for the Gannon outfielders, but as the backstop, you're going to feel that. Count for Curran. She falls behind 2-0. Carroll and then Smerick in the hole. Now some more dust coming up. And I'm just being told we're making a camera switch between the innings. My good friend James Anderson needs to crack his knee. And I know exactly how that feels, as the pitch, good lateral movement, but just misses. I believe that was probably a little too high. That runs a count 2-3-0. And you can see just the torrents of dust. I believe Grapes of Wrath was based on similar situation on the Dust Bowl in the 1930s. Pitched low for a ball. And I like having a good time, but honestly, this is as strong a wind as we've had. If you feel the press box moving here at Lilly Field, you know the wind is really coming through. And that'll bring up Emma Smerick. So runners on first and second, 1 out here. Gannon scoring 3 runs, 2 runs in the first, 1 run in the second. California 2 runs in the bottom of the third. Gannon trying to get those markers back. Curran pitch low into the dirt. Smerick was showing bunt. Pulls back and takes a ball. Now there's going to be a meeting at the mound. Interim head coach Nikki Yanchik talking to her charge. Not sure what a move would be, as Babcock went the entire game in game 1. Ochtenmeyer has some pitching experience, so this might just be a settle down, just get it over the plate, let your defense work. Coach Yancek going back to the dugout. That will continue the at-bat for Smerick. Now the wind has shifted back towards us. Very swirling wind today. Bunt attempt, foul, and to the backstop. We'll run the count 2-1 apiece. So if you've gotten a kite for Easter early coming up to Lilly Field, Rodman Park, as it won't take much to get it and keep it in the air. 1-1 pitch. High and outside, ball 2. So very dangerous hitter in Smerick for the Golden Knights. Leading in several offensive categories. Here's the 2-1. Rolls it up there. Count goes to 3-1. On deck is the number 3 hitter, first baseman, Natalia Malazzi. So 3-1, 1 out, 2 on. Misses on the outside. So now a big spot of bother for the Vulcans as bases are loaded, and that'll bring up the 3-hole hitter, very dangerous, Natalia Malazzi. And Malazzi just missed on a couple of her at-bats, doing some real damage. So nowhere to put anybody, and a dangerous hitter on with 1 out. First pitch. Ball gets away. Runner comes home, and that will be the fourth run of the game for Gannon on a ball. So Malazzi kind of shaking her head because the run comes home, but she doesn't get an RBI. Has a chance as 2 runners moved up. And Coach Yancik will go out to talk to the home plate umpire, and I think there's going to be a pitching change. This is about the spot on Tuesday that Kern had issues. She got through 4 and then kind of hit a wall. Score is 4-2. As we're waiting, because it does probably mean Ochtemeyer will come in, which will necessitate a couple other shifts. And that will be it. So we're going to just pause for a few seconds as we have this pitching change. Once again, you're watching Vulcan Softball right here on CTV Sports 1, the PSAC Digital Network, and the CTV family of networks. And welcome back to Lilyfield as we finish up that pitching change. So to get everybody caught up to date, Caitlin Ochtemeyer will come in. Kern is still responsible for the runners on second and third. Brianna Sersevic will move from center to second, and that will put out Lexi Hasbrook, the junior, into center field. So Ochtemeyer in the circle now. Used to playing about 35 feet to the left of it, but she's now right in the middle of the action. And she will also take over the count, which was 1-0. It's now 2-0. Big situation in the game as California came back, got 2 of the 3 runs back, had a lot of momentum, and then Gannon, by way of a couple walks and then a wild pitch, got that 4th run. And now a dangerous hitter ahead with a 3-0 count. See if it's a take or she has the green light. Had the take. Pitch catches for a strike. Runs the count to 3-1. It's Ochtemeier's 3-1. Low. So Malazzi will go to first. Bases are loaded once again, and that'll bring up the designated player, the 4-hole hitter, Destiny Garcia, the freshman, with a chance to do some real damage with bases loaded. the very least with less than 2 outs. You think Garcia have a chance to at least bring one in. First pitch is low and outside for a ball. We'll see if the first play is to home or where they go if the ball's on the ground. So 1-0. Right at the letters for a called strike. So 1-1 count to Destiny Garcia. Ochtemeyer's 1-1. Hits the dirt. Bertani doing a good job of keeping it in front. And you can just feel the momentum shifting to the Gannon dugout. Ochtemeyer's pitch slapped right at the first baseman, throw to home, and that will be the out. And that's an out at home, as I was looking to see if maybe Davis stepped on first. She did not, but it was a force at home, so good play there by Kira Davis. And now California has a chance to get off the tightrope, only giving up 1 run here in the top of the 4th. First pitch fouled away. Abby Gurman has had an active afternoon here. Had a collision in left center field in game number 1. Watches that pitch go low for a ball. Outfield playing pretty much straight up here to Gurman, the left-handed batter. Ochtemeyer's pitch looking a little frustrated as that ball hit the ground and will run to a ball. Runs the count 2-2-1. And the question will be if Ochtemeier can get out of this inning, how long will she go? Here's the pitch swung on, fouled straight down and back. Evens the count at 2 apiece. Gurman walks away. I think I might have stung her hands just a little bit. Not a cold day by any stretch of the imagination, so if you're going to do that, might as well be on a good day. Pitch. Low and away. Ball 3. So full count. Nowhere to put her. If there's any contact, every running will be running on contact, so chance for Gurman to do some real damage here for the Knights. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit high into center field. Going back over the head, and that is gone. A grand slam here on Easter Saturday. And that will make the score 8-2 for Gannon, as Abby Gurman just clears everything into dead center for a bases clearing grand slam. And they put I believe, a banana on her head. A lot of teams have different celebrations, but Gurman earning that with a no-doubt shot to center field, and that changes the entire complexion of this afternoon, 180 degrees.
Now batting for Gannon, number 15, Elena Whipke.
And as everybody calms down, that'll bring up Elena Whipke, the shortstop for the Golden Knights. So 5 runs across this inning. And I believe, and it will close the book on McKenna Curran. First pitch misses for a ball. Second pitch misses high and outside for a ball as well. Long inning here for the Vulcans in the field. 2-0, misses high, 3-0. Ochtemeier showing a little bit of frustration in the circle right now. Pitch right over the middle, pure take for Whipke. So the 3-1 now to Whipkey. High and outside, ball 4. Now Bertani will go out.
Number 26, Mia Ryan.
Thought she was going the full way out to check on Ochtemeyer, but just setting the defense, and that'll bring up third baseman Mia Ryan. Made a pretty good play in the field last inning. Got handcuffed, but was still able to get a force out. Ochtemeyer just misses inside. She really wanted that pitch. Has not pitched ahead in the count in a few batters. So the 1-0 swung on. Tap to Hollerick. Throw over to first. Good pick job, and that ends the inning. But Gannon doing some real damage as they plate 5 to go up 8-2. So while we have a chance, do us a favor. Go to this. Hold on. We're going to get this graphic up. Go to this website, little thing we like to call YouTube. Scan that QR code and subscribe to our YouTube page here at CTV Sports 1, where you can get live, up-to-date information on Vulcan games that are live, some of our videos that go up right away. It's the best way to stay involved with everything we do here at CUTV. So still in the circle is Jessica Westmiller, trying to get her second win of the season and 6-run lead. Any pitcher would love to go out there with a 6-run lead. Has been sitting for a while, as that was a long top of the 4th. So see if maybe California can use that to their advantage, get a couple runners on, and claw back into this afternoon. First batter due up for California is first baseman Kira Davis.
Now a bat for California, number 21, Kira Davis.
8 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Golden Knights. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error for the Vulcans. As we approach the 3 o'clock hour here on the East Coast, 2:47. If you're watching us on CUTV cable, the game will go off at 3 o'clock. That is the amount of time we allotted for this doubleheader. First pitch misses low and outside. The feed will, of course, stay on the PSAC Digital Network and CTV Sports 1, but dealing with the cable coverage schedule, we got a guess at the beginning of the game, and we guessed wrong, so it happens. Ball 2. A lot of deep counts also don't help the TV window. Seems like most batters have had at least 2 balls and 1 strikes against them. And there is the 2 ball and 1 count strike that I just predicted. Maybe I should go to Vegas, where WrestleMania is this weekend. So again, happy WrestleMania weekend to those who celebrate. And there's a celebration shot into the gap. That's going to get to the wall and extra bases for Davis. And Davis, a ringing double to lead off the bottom of the 4th. And see if the bottom of the lineup for California can get some of these runs back. Now Atherton will go out to check on her battery mate. And it looks like there's going to be a change somewhere. And it'll be a pinch hitter for California.
16, Lakin Blackburn.
And that'll bring up Lakin Blackburn in place of Bailey Bertani. So Blackburn getting her first action of the afternoon. Blackburn, the junior. First pitch ball. We saw Blackburn getting inserted into the game Tuesday afternoon. Very similar spot after the Vulcans gave up some runs. Here's the 1-0. High, ball 2. As Blackburn walks away, looks like some dirt got in her eye. And again, I think all of us will be rinsing out some of the Lilyfield infield when we shower. Hopefully everyone's showering in the next 24 hours. The pitch catches the corner of the plate for a strike. Two 1 count. 2 Blackburn. Healthy cut and missed. So Blackburn even count now, 2-2. Davis on second, nobody out. Ringing double to lead off the inning here in the bottom of the 4th. Pitch swung on right at the first baseman, Malazzi, and that's a exciting out number 1. And that was right on the screws. And that'll bring up Michaela Linkus. Linkus, the number 9 hitter. So Fiorelli will flip the lineup over with 1 out. Unless there's some really bizarre double play that happens here, Fiorelli will get to bat in the bottom of the 4th. Pitch catches the outside part of the plate for a strike. Again, thank you for joining us this Easter weekend. Long weekend. Doubleheader yesterday at EQT Park. Vulcans completing a sweep of the IUP Crimson Hawks to maintain first place in the PSAC. Ground ball to short. Over to first, and out is recorded. Runner will advance. So that'll bring the second out of the inning.
Now, batting for California.
And that'll bring up Carlina Fiorelli. And Fiorelli has already gone yard once this afternoon, her first home run of the season in that big 6th inning in game number 1. So a big run out there for the Vulcans. Should Fiorelli get a base hit here, or if something hits the backstop, you got to think that Davis will be charging. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Stabbed between Kochiancic and the third baseline for a strike. But another note about baseball yesterday, 4-game sweep. California maintaining lead in the PSAC West. Tennis, a full slate of action this weekend. Softball doubleheader today, so several track athletes going south. So full weekend of athletics on the KyleVulcans.com calendar. Count to Fiorelli goes to 1-1. Again, the outfield shifted to the left. Fiorelli looking to go opposite field probably, and she does foul one over the dugout area, and that'll put her in a 1-2 hole. Wes Miller 1 strike away from getting out of this inning without any runs going through. Wind picking up steadily and aggressively once again. Pitch misses low and outside. Ball 2. Wes Miller looking in at the sign. 2-2. Check swing. Nothing doing. So full count once again in this ball game. Should Fiorelli extend the innings, Sursevic is in the on-deck circle. Full count. Hit towards left field, going back over the head. That's going to get to the wall on extra bases for Fiorelli. So the Vulcans get another run on the board, make it 8-3 by way of a Carlina Fiorelli double.
Now batting for the Vulcans, number 14.
And that will bring up Brianna Sursevic with a RBI sitting out there at second base. As I thought for a second, that ball in the air might have been Fiorelli's second home run of the afternoon. Just kind of dipped right at the fence, but had enough mustard to get across and past the left fielder, Gurman. There's a ground ball to short off the arm. That's going to go into center field. Run is going to come around to score. So the Vulcans quickly get two back. It's 8-4. That was a hard-hit ground ball towards the shortstop. And that will bring up Amara McCutcheon. And now Gannon's going to have a meeting at the mound as McCutcheon has shown some thunder in the bat. As that was a hard hit ground ball that went right off of the forearm. That'll be an infield single for Whipke, and the ball or infield single off of Whipke's arm. Ball goes into center field, and Sursevic able to come around and score. Excuse me, Fiorelli came around to score. Sursevic is at first base. And the man in blue has his notepad out, so we're going to see if there's a pitching change here for Gannon. See, we'll confer with Amara McCutcheon. Not sure if she has the decision-making ability for either team, so maybe discussing Easter plans or where the wind is coming from. No change being made, as it looks like Wes Miller will be putting her mask back on and stay in the game, again with a 4-run lead now. It's a pitcher that has to feel good.
California, number 33, Amara McCutcheon.
McCutcheon comes up. So you can hear in the background our PA announcer, Nick Downs, going through puberty on that call for McCutcheon. Here's the first pitch to McCutcheon. Low and inside for a ball. And you know McCutcheon is not thinking a infield single here. She's looking to clear that fence in left center field once again like she did off of the batting cage. Swung on right center field. High ball back, and it just drops into the glove of the right fielder, Smerick, and that ends the inning. But the Vulcans get two back. After 4 full, the Vulcans trail by the score of 8-4. We'll be right back. You're watching Vulcan Softball right here on CUTV Sports 1, the PSAC Digital Network, and for a few more minutes, the CUTV cable family of networks.
Sports fans, we cheer on our favorite teams at fields, gyms, arenas, and stadiums. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a referee? Verbal abuse from fans, parents, and coaches is the #1 reason why many referees are walking away. And they're not being replaced quickly enough by new ones. So put yourself in the official shoes, act with respect, and be officially human.
And welcome back to Lilyfield, top of the 5th. Some changes made as Kern will go back into the circle. Bertani will go back into center. McCutcheon will go behind the dish. And Ochtemeyer will go back to second. So again, if you're scoring at home, God bless you. So Kern goes out momentarily and will come back in.
For California, number 3, McKenna Karen.
So again, Karen back
Pitching for California,
in the circle. Ochtemeyer back at
Laura
second.
McCutcheon.
Bertani back at center. And McCutcheon at catcher. And if you want to know the fine reports of Division II collegiate softball substitutions, catch Matt Kiefer in his office any day this week because it is a mystery, and I've been doing this a long time. So again, McCutcheon behind the dish. She will place Bertani. Ochtemeyer moves back out of the circle to second base, and Srcevic back in center as Curran will come back into the circle. Pitched 4 innings, gave up some runs and some walks, was replaced by Ochtemeyer. And she will face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for this Gannon Golden Knights squad.
For Gannon, number 7, Bella Atherton.
So Curran's first pitch misses. Second pitch hit batter. And that will bring up Kennedy Maynard.
Now at bat, number 8, Kennedy Maynard.
And that'll put the leadoff batter on base. And now there's a timeout for the man in blue to talk to the Gannon Brain Trust. So we'll see what looks like there's going to be a pinch runner, number 20 going out. Daly says Lesney. I apologize, as I'm looking to see if I can find the pronunciation on that.
Pinch running for Gannon, number 20, Kaylee Chisowski.
Kaylee Chanowski going out for Gannon's head coach, Michelle Wiley. In her 7th season here at the Golden Knights. So some more speed. Gannon ahead 8-4. First pitch low and in the dirt. Ball 1. McCutcheon first action behind the plate. Good job of getting into the action and keeping the advance at bay. Curran's 4th pitch of the inning misses. Ball 2. So it's gone ball, hit batsman, ball, ball. Maynard looking back in, runner at first. Nice pitch over. Calming pitch right there to get back into the count at 2-1. Curran slowing down. Now in the windup, throws. And that had some good lateral movement. Fouled back over our head. Evens the count at 2 apiece. It seems that breaking pitch has been the most effective for Curran in this game. And she went 4 and then left for a few batters. Swung on high, fly ball, and that is going to be down the line, and it gets down. Jaron trying in vain to get there, but that'll be an exciting foul ball strike. And Ochtemeyer's chuckling at something, so not sure if there was a short hop or something down there, but having some good fun with Curran and Davis on the right side of the infield. Count goes 2-2. In the dirt, full count. Once again, McCutcheon right out of the frying pan and into the fire, stopping some balls from going to the backstop. With a runner at first. Again, California trailing 8-2 in the last inning, got 2 runs back. There's a shot into left center field. That'll get down in front of Fiorelli in a single. And Hollerich took some dust right in the eye. She turned around, so hopefully she's okay as a big tuft of wind came up. She's talking to the field umpire. And again, she turned around right as the gust of wind came up. And that'll bring up the leadoff batter, Sadie Carroll. So the lineup flips around. And again, the ump walking away is nothing you can do really on a natural surface with this wind coming up. So Hollerick hunkering down at short. Here's the first pitch showing bunt right up the middle. And that's going to send a runner around. And now they put the brakes on. But another base hit and another bases loaded situation for Gannon. And you bring up number 4, Emma Smerick. And Smerick, as we mentioned a couple times throughout this afternoon, a dangerous, dangerous hitter for this Gannon team. Bases loaded, nobody out. 8-4 is your score. Easter Saturday. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Curran for a strike. Smerick was thinking fastball all the way, and again, Curran throwing that pitch that had some lateral movement, dipped outside off speed, and Smerick comes up empty. Infield moving up a little on the corners. 0-1 misses 1-1. James Anderson has joined us in the press box. Knees are fully cracked, taking advantage of the steel chair that was offered him. Pitch. And again, with that breaking ball right over the middle, gets Curran ahead in the count, 1-2. On deck, should there not be a triple play, will be Natalia Malazzi, the first baseman. Here's the pitch. Swung on right back to Curran. Gets off her glove. Throw to the plate will be in time. So 1-4-2 put out there. An exciting play. So it went off the glove, and that will be one out.
Next at bat for the Golden Knights, number 1, Natalia Malazzi.
And Malazzi will come up. So the third baseman, or the runner at third, had to hold up for a second, so it came right back at Curran. Curran deflected it. First pitch, high and outside for a ball. Thought maybe we had a chance for the elusive triple play there as it was a hit right at the pitcher. And there's a pitch for a strike. So I try and get caught up on my highlights. So 1-1 to Malazzi. Swung on, fouled out of play. And Curran ahead in the count. 1-2. Again, walking that high wire, trying to get off it safely. To see if she comes with some heat or if she goes with that off-speed pitch. A lot of spin on it, but it's spun too high. Evens the count at 2 apiece. Outfield playing pretty much straight up here. 2-2. Swung on center field. Right at the center fielder. Throw to second. Doubled it off. And an inning-ending double play in California gets off of the high wire safely. No runs across after bases loaded and 2 outs. So the Vulcans will have a chance to cut back in to that deficit. But talk about that game and talk about games, if you will. You can always talk about them and read about them on KyleVulcans.com. Our good friend Matt Kiefer and most of his staff sitting to my left, doing the hard work of keeping everybody informed of everything going on in Vulcan athletics. As we're going to make another change. So I wish John Sape happy Easter. He's grounded this weekend, so he's at curfew now at 3 o'clock. So we thank you for your work. So we have a fully cracked James Anderson coming back behind the camera. But again, go to Cal Vulcans on all your social platforms of preference and enjoy everything Matt and his staff have to do, from game recaps, stats, stories, pictures, and everything of that. And when some guy from CUTV ever gets him the highlights from this weekend, he will attach those highlights to the games from this weekend. And that's me, and I'll be doing it this afternoon. But let's talk about that top of the fifth. California looked like they were fully up against the ropes, get out of the jam, and now have a chance with the bats to maybe cut back into this 4-run deficit. We've seen it a couple times this week.
Number 23, Michaela Jared.
And that'll bring up Jaron. So Jaron, the third baseman for the Vulcans. First pitch outside. Ball one. Wes Miller still in the circle for the Golden Knights. Here's the 1-0. This is high and away. So Jaron ahead. Again, this game, too, all the pitchers struggling to get those first 1 or 2 strikes across. Seems like every batter's been ahead 2-0 or 2-1 or 1-0. A menagerie of full counts. Pitch catches the corner for a strike. Pitch swung on, tap towards the second baseman, and on the run is the out. So Sadie Carroll got on the horse, got behind the first baseman, and gets the out. And that'll bring up Caitlin Ochtenmeyer. I thought off the bat that ball would get into the Bermuda Triangle area, but Carroll just cutting it off and getting the first out of the bottom of the 5th inning. And the wind coming up a little bit more. Here's the pitch, swung on, hit towards second base again, and that is not a internet issue. That is the exact same play, 2 plays in a row, and 2 outs, and that'll bring up Jenna Hollerick.
Number 18, Jenna Hollerick.
So we saw Hollerick having the shortstop triple or hat trick earlier today with 3 straight putouts. We'll see if Carroll can do likewise at the Keystone sack. So here's the first pitch. Nice pitch inside part of the plate for a strike. Should Hollerick extend the inning, on deck will be Kira Davis. Pitch misses low for a ball. Thought maybe that caught the plate, but did not. So I heard both dugouts react. 1-1, 2 outs, bottom 5. Swung on shortstop to shortstop, bobbles it, and that'll be an error on the shortstop. So Hollerich keeps this inning going, and that'll bring up Kira Davis.
Number 21, Kira Davis.
And that's another error over there on the shortstop play that should have been made. Second error of the game for Gannon. Again, walks and errors will age coaches more than the calendar and the years. First pitch, swung on, over to first. Error doesn't come around to harm anybody for Gannon. So after 5 full innings here from Lily Field, score the Gannon Golden Knights 8, the California Vulcans 4. We'll be right back after these messages. You're watching Vulcans softball right here on CTV Sports 1, the PSAC Digital Network, and the CUTV family of networks.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student athletes. Last year, over 4,000 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, over 70 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
And welcome back as we have the strains of Evolution being played. Again, happy WrestleMania 41 weekend to those who celebrate. I know I have my post-editing feast planned out. Hoagie, salad, and maybe an ice cream sandwich. I don't know. If the Vulcans come back and get this, I will get 2 ice cream sandwiches, and I will post that on the CUTV social media account. But we got some ways to go before we get to me getting fat as we go into the top of the 6th. Milkshakes would be fine, too, as we have a fully cracked James Anderson back at camera 1 talking milkshakes, making my belly growl. Fun booth here today. Again, with our good friend Kaylee Rister not here, there is no one in charge of the press box. It has gone off the rails very early today. Ball misses low, ball 2. I believe there are 2 donuts left, so hopefully those get eaten. 1 donut left, if you're keeping track at home. 1 donut is left. Foul ball right over our head. Runs the count to 2-1. Remember the first game when Lilyfield was rededicated, I believe in 2021, I thought about parking my car right behind the press box. And the first batter hit one right where I was going to park, so I thought the better of it, and that's exactly where that foul ball went. 2-1, misses outside. 3-1. That bat is Olivia Eccles. Hits one high into center. Coming on is Sircevic for the first out. So new batter for Gannon. Gets the out result, and that'll bring up Abby Gurman. So Eccles came in and batted for Destiny Garcia. So Eccles, the sophomore utility player, 0 for 1. That'll bring up the left-handed batter, Abby Gurman. Hard hit ball to second base. Good job by Ochtemeyer staying down and getting the second out. So 2 quick outs for the Vulcans here in the top of the 6th. I see a little bit of life on the Vulcans. Sometimes all it takes is some good defensive plays, a quick inning, get back in the dugout, because California has shown in game number 1 they can come back from a deficit. And again, Tuesday, if you watch, 2 exciting walk-off wins for the Vulcans. Curran's pitch catches the corner. She's getting some confidence as she comes back, as she came back into the game. So the 0-1 in the dirt evens the count at 1 apiece. One now. Inside, just misses for a ball. I thought the ump flinched a little bit. I think that was so close, but I think it might have just been a little too high. Runs the count to 2-1. Catches the corner, and again, there's that pitch with some lateral movement, just catching the corner. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nothing doing as Whipke flinched away as that pitch was inside, and the count goes to full. As the wind picks up, it sounds like a train going by here at Lilly Field. Ball low and away, so unable to get the 1-2-3, and that will bring up third baseman Mia Ryan.
Now at bat number 26, Mia Ryan.
So another walk, puts a runner on. Curran's first pitch, swung on, foul down the third base line for a strike. Another little pause there to listen to the wind whip through the woods behind us. Again, can't really see it now on the field, but it is pretty steady wind outside. Pitch misses low and away, ball one. So that ball gets the Gannon dugout excited. Just a little outside, ball two. Another 2-1 count here in this afternoon's ball game. Ryan waiting for a pitch that she can take a hack at. Here's the 2-1. Just catches the outside corner. Evens the count at 2 apiece. So once again, Kern within 1 strike of getting out of this inning without giving up any runs. Wind coming up. Hollerick ducking behind her glove as now the ump will call time. Oh, turns her back around. She got earlier again. She got hit with a blast of dirt in the face when she was turning around. Luckily, she caught the ball and didn't miss it, but you can definitely see that it affected her. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Off the ankle. Slow to get up is Ryan. So she's going to try and walk that off as that came down right on the inside of her left ankle. So I'm just going to give her a few seconds to walk it off. She seems none the worse for wear. Says she's good. And we reset 2-2. 2 outs, runner on first. Slap down the right field line. That's going to get down. Runner will advance to third. So runners, as the throw comes in, will go into left field. Runner will come around. Runner will now come to third. The throw, no one is covering third. Runner goes to third. A run comes in, and it's 9-4 Gannon. So a disastrous result there for the Vulcans as the throw to third goes into left field. And that'll bring up the catcher, Atherton. So charge that a hit and an error and a run. So California a couple times in that sequence, a strike away from getting out. Gave up a run and gave up 3 bases or 2 bases. So the runner is now at third. And with the wildness of Kern in this game, that runner on third will look to come home, anything to the backstop. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, foul. Evens the count at 1 apiece. So Atherton, the 8-hitter, then Kennedy Maynard, and then the lineup flips back over to Sadie Carroll. Curran hits Atherton in the cheek. She's going to walk it off, but it definitely feels like or seems like she felt that. So runners on first and third. Believe that's the second hit batsman by Curran. And that'll bring up Maynard as they check on Atherton, the catcher. Unfortunately, the catcher's probably taken shots like that before, so
Number 8.
shaking it off, but she kind of reacted, kind of hit her helmet right where the jawbone would be. And that'll bring up Maynard. So runners on first and third. 2 outs. 9-4 is your score. Swung on, hit towards center. Zersevic going back and collecting that at a spot right in front of the warning track. But Gannon gets a run on a couple hits and a couple errors and walks. So the score after 5.5. Gannon 9, California 4. Again, see our YouTube page. Go there on CUTV Sports 1 on our YouTube. Subscribe and see notifications for whenever games are live. Again, you can also download the YouTube app, subscribe to CUTV, get the action that way, or go and subscribe to the PSAC Digital Network and get our content that way. Or you can go to calvulcans.com. Matt Keifer always has the live links on the calendar, so there's no excuse to not be able to follow CUTV Sports 1. And James Anderson, who is fully cracked with his knee, is agreeing. I think he's agreeing. He looks sad. His heel's hurt, so we're going to have to get him some camera slippers for the next game. So maybe the Easter Bunny will bring you some camera slippers. I just found out he usually sits for baseball, so we're going to have to deal with that next Saturday for the game, although he did a great job yesterday. The entire crew doing a great job this spring. Baseball and softball is always tough because both facilities are a little different. Baseball being 40 minutes away in Washington adds some challenges. Lilyfield with its diminutive press area also brings up some challenges, but we always try and rise to the occasion to bring everyone the best Vulcan coverage, so hopefully everyone has a good holiday weekend. No official days off for the students, so I know some took off last week, or this past Friday, yesterday. So I'll bring up Blackburn once again for the Vulcans. First pitch is Wes Miller gets the first pitch across 4 strikes. She has gone the whole way. Nate Kurtz is right back into his familiar position right now at scoreboard. Blackburn fouls one down the right field line, and that will be a long strike number 2. So 9 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors, 4 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for the Vulcans. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So the first out of the inning is recorded by way of the swinging K. And that'll bring up Michaela Linkus, number 9 hitter in the order. Then Fiorelli will flip the lineup card over again for interim head coach Nikki Yanchik. So California down to their last 5 outs here this afternoon. Pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. Linkus awaiting the 0-1 pitch. Oh, nice pitch on the outside part of the plate. Runs the count to 0-2. Ball. One and 2 count for Linkus. Low and away, ball 2. So Wes Miller struggling just a little bit here to Linkus with 1 out. Ball 3. So stop me if you've heard this one. Full count to a batter here in game number 2. Wes Miller looking in, getting the call. Payoff pitch, tapped. That's going to be an infield single. There's nothing that the third baseman Ryan could do. So Linkus with a little excuse me, check swing. This isn't a bunt, but we're going to count it as a bunt base hit. And that'll bring up the leadoff batter for California, Carlina Fiorelli. And sometimes that's all it takes is just a little bit of luck. Got a runner on. Fiorelli again is hit one out of the park here today, hitting another one off the fence. So one swing could bring in 2 runs. But you need base runners. A journey of 1,000 steps begins with 1 step. I think I messed that up. I think it's 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. But you still got to walk. And 1 ball is 1 ball closer to a walk for Fiorelli. 1-0 pitch, swung on in the 5-5 hole. So Fiorelli keeping the line moving. And that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Brianna Sursevic, and the Vulcans have something going here.
Now batting number 14, Brianna Sursevic.
And this is the inning in the spot in game number 1 where the Vulcans pounced, where they got 5 runs to put it out of reach. Full crunch time here at Lilyfield. First pitch fouled out of play. California down 5. So some work to do, but there's always a chance. So here's the pitch. Catches the corner for a strike. And Wes Miller tightening down just a little bit. Goes ahead 0-2. Misses outside for a ball. Should Sursevic keep the inning going? McCutcheon should be on deck. Slap towards short. Fielded nicely. 6-4 put out. Runner will advance to third. So runners on the corners. 2 outs for Mara McCutcheon.
Now batting for California, number 33, Mara.
Again, that ball was not hit hard enough to even think about a double play. And it looks like now there's going to be a meeting at the mound. Wait and see if there's a pitching change here for Gannon. Not seeing Gannon before this afternoon. Not sure what they have in reserve in the pitching staff. But definitely looks like this is more than just a let's get the third out. This is looking more like a pitching change is going to happen. Although everybody looks to be in the same position, so maybe it was just a little strategy session as Wes Miller will put the the mask back on. And McCutcheon will step back in. Again, 5-run lead for Gannon. These 3 runs really don't mean much in the grand scheme of things unless California is going to try or may be able to get a comeback. But if you're in the field, you say just go at her, and if she hits one, you hit one, you're still up 2. Here's the pitch. Misses low and away, ball 1. So Wes Miller. The pitch. Outside ball 2. Again, California down to their last 5 outs, so walks and base hits will be their friend. So McCutcheon will gladly take 4 balls, go to first base, and get a chance for your 4-hole hitter, Jaron, to get up. Here's the pitch. Ball 3. So not sure if anybody's warming up in the Gannon bullpen. So 3-0 count. Pure hitters count to a power hitter. Outside, ball 4, bases loaded. And that'll bring up Michaela Jaron.
Vulcans, number 23, Michaela Jaron.
And we've already seen 1 grand slam on Easter Saturday. What about a second one? Jared now. Alon Connie is the winner for the last donut award at the press box. We weren't sure who was going to get the last one, so if you're playing along at home and pick Loudon Conti, you he said there was no doubt about that. He said he was prepared to eat a dozen, but 0-1 count to Jaron, looking to do some damage here with 2 outs. Pitch goes low and away for a ball. Jaron coming into this game, no home runs, 18 RBIs, but does have some pop in that bat. So, and with the wind going out, you just never know. Here's the 1-1, swung on, hit towards short, goes through the 5-hole. 1 run comes home, 2 runs come home. Throw goes to third, and a 2-run play there for California. And California is right back in the conversation. As the kids say, they have entered the chat, and that'll bring up Caitlin Ochtemeyer.
Caitlin Ochtemeyer.
So you have runners on the corners, 2 outs. And that is going to be ruled an error as it went right through the 5-hole. But now you have McCutcheon at third. And the tying run is at the plate in the form of Caitlin Ochtemeyer, the senior. Has had a bit of everything in game number 2. Started at second, pitched a few batters, and then went back to second. Now has a chance to really impact this game with a base hit. 1-0 count. Right over the plate for a strike. Evens the count at 1 apiece. So 2 different times this inning, Gannon could have got out of it, but not able to, and California making them pay. And there's a pop-up, and that is going to get out of play. And the count goes to 1-2. So a little excuse me check swing to keep the count going. So Ochtemeyer stepping back in, back to the wall. 3 runs, deficit still, but if you got California get within 2, they've shown this week they can come back. Here's the pitch, swung on, just misses down the third base line. Count stays at 1-2. Ochtemeyer, the senior, stepping back in, batting .351 for the Vulcans, which would put her second on the team in average coming into this game. Pitch swung on, little bloop to second, and the out. But California gets a pair, and we go to the 7th inning here at Lilly Field. Don't go anywhere. I have a feeling we got an exciting last inning of softball. So you're watching Vulcan Softball right here on CTV Sports 1, the PSAC Digital Network, and possibly the CTV family of cable networks.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student-athletes. Last year, over 4,000 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, over 70 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
And welcome back as the discussion turns to Vulcan comebacks here in the press box. Again, remember, Tuesday afternoon, California walking it off twice, comeback in the bottom of the 7th against UPJ. Earlier today in game number 1, California scored several runs in the 6th inning to come from behind in game number 1. And right now they're slowly chipping away in game number 2. But you gotta, if you're California, you can't give up free base runners here in the top of the 7th. And you have the top of the order with Sadie Carroll. Carroll, Smerick, and Malazzi. Kern still in the game, looking for her first win of the season. Popped foul and out of play. A couple players went after it and unable to come up with it. Kind of run out of space down the first base line pretty quickly. So a 1 count. Swung on, hit right center field, and that's hit hard, and that's going to get down for possibly extra bases. Throw into second, beats her, but slides under the tag, so a leadoff double for Sadie Carroll. Thought for a second maybe Srcevic's throw beat her, but tag goes underneath. So Gannon trying to get those runs right back and make the bottom of the 7th a little more comfortable for Jessica Westmiller. Pitch, bunt, right in front of the plate, only plays nobody because it's ruled a foul ball. But McCutcheon was going to throw to first, take the out. Like they say in Moneyball, take the free out. They say a lot of other things in Moneyball. I can't repeat those, but that's one of the ones I can repeat. It's easy. First base, just Matt Kiefer, picking machine. So Malazzi stepping back in, trailing 0-1. See if she tries the sacrifice route again. She does, puts down, pulls up. Will play on. Evens the count at 1 apiece. California had both corner infielders crashing down. Ball misses high and away. So Kern working the corners. Not sure if she's entirely convinced that Malazzi's going to throw this bunt down. Or excuse me, Smerick. Smerick, then Malazzi. As they crash in and she throws one down the middle, Smerick could turn on it. Here's a pitch. Bunt attempt, nothing doing, and a ball. So 3-1. So leadoff double and then trailing 3-1 here in the count. Foul bunt on the first pitch and then 3 straight balls out of the zone. Here's the pitch, misses outside, ball 4. So free pass. Not the recipe you want if you're California. Try and get back these 2 runs. And this will bring up Natalia Malazzi. We'll see if she has the green light or if she's going to try and sacrifice the runner, 2 runners into scoring position with nobody out. Bunt pulls back, but it catches the corner for a strike. So 0-1, Malazzi steps back in. Ball outside. Evens the count at 1 apiece. As we approach the 4 o'clock hour here on the East Coast. Games that started at 1, we're back to where we would have been if we started at 1 and 3. High pop up. Srcevic moving over, makes the catch in center field, so the first out of the inning. Runners do not advance, and that will bring up number 21, Olivia Eccles. Eccles second at bat of the game. So the wind coming up pretty strong here at Lilyfield. Settled for a little bit, but has picked back up in the top of the 7th. 1 out. First pitch, Eccles slaps one into center field. That's going to get down, and the runner is held. Strong throw by Srcevic with bases loaded with 1 out in the heart of the order. And Abby Gurman will come up, and again, chance to put a real hurting on this Vulcan afternoon. Bases loaded once again for the Golden Knights. Nice strike on the inside part of the plate. So 0-1 to Gurman. Pitch saved by McCutcheon. And Gurman might be regretting getting out of the way of that. That would have been a free and a relatively painless RBI for her. I think she's going for, or wanting a little bit more than a 1-run play right here. She's going to be swinging for the fences. Swung on, foul down the first base line. Runs a count 2-1-2. Ball's returned. So Kern 1-2. Here's the pitch. Misses high. Kern coming into this game with only 4 strikeouts. Not sure if she's had any strikeouts in this game. Would love one right now. 2-2. Swung on, hit to center. Back goes Srcevic. High off the wall. This is going to score a bunch of runs. 1 run home. 2 runs home. 2-run double. And that just missed being a grand slam by about 2.5 feet, but scores now 11-7. With 1 out, Gannon looking to keep this carousel going. And that'll bring up, looks like a pinch hitter, 42, Mackenzie Wade, the freshman. Listed as a right-handed pitcher. So Wade will come in and bat in place of Whipke. So 11 runs, 12 hits, 3 errors for Gannon. California 7 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors, and that 5-run lead is restored. Here's the pitch, swung on, no, check swing, but a strike. Looked like Wade was loading up on that off-speed pitch. Second at bat all year for Wade. Swung on, hit down the line for a strike. So Wade falls behind Kern 0-2. Pitch swung on again. Sends everybody scattering down the left third base line. Wade's going to get a little chuckle at that. She sent her assistant coach and the runner at third just diving for cover. And she's still laughing about it. But she's not getting shortchanged any swing. That's solid contact for the freshman. Second at bat all year. Here's the 0-2. Misses low and away. Ball one. Here's the 1-2 from Curran. Right on the corner, and that's a strikeout. First one of the game. Fifth one of the year for Curran. And 2 outs now, as that'll bring up number 26, Mia Ryan. So a caught looking for the freshman. But Ryan, a dangerous hitter as well. We'll call time. Not granted. Ball goes over her head for a ball. Looked like she was trying to ask for time, was not granted it. And Curran sent one over top of the penthouse. Here's the 1-0. Fouled right back towards us. Evens a count at 1 apiece. And that's one, had the netting not been there, I think might have made it into the booth. Had a little bit of top spin on it. As it is, 1-1, 2 outs. Misses outside for a ball. Curran catches the outside part of the plate, evens kind of at 2 apiece. So once again, a chance, 1 strike to get out of the inning. We've had this situation a couple times, and Gannon has pounced on it a couple times with some clutch hitting. One more hit, I think, would make the bus ride back to Erie a little bit more comfortable. Swung on, hit towards Hollerick, off her glove. It's going to get away. Run scores, throw goes to the dugout. Another run will come home. Make it 13-6 as the wheels have fallen off, as there's an error, possibly more than one. As there's a runner on first, 2 outs. And that'll bring up Bella Atherton, the backstop. So 13 runs, 12 hits, 3 errors for the Golden Knights, 6-7-3 for California. Swung on, hit towards center. It's going to be a tough play. Gets down in front and gets away. Skipped off a clump of grass and gets away from Sirsevic. And that'll be a base hit. 13th of the afternoon for Gannon. And that'll bring up the number 9-hole hitter, Kennedy Maynard. So a couple times this inning, California probably should have been out of the inning, but it has been extended. Wind has slightly slowed down as we've somehow survived the 3-hour wind storm that they predicted. First pitch missed on a ball. There's 1-0 swung on, fouled out of way. Just getting information that was Curran's 145th pitch of the afternoon.
What time was first pitch?
So Curran, and that's 145 pitches, missing several batters because Ochtemeyer came in her relief. Swung on into right field, gets down, and they're going to send the runner, throw to the plate, beats her, but the tag is up the line. 14th run of the game. Runners on first and second.
Now batting, 0-0.
And that'll bring up the top of the order with Sadie Carroll. So Curran, pitch swung on and fouled out of play. So a 5 spot currently in the top of the 7th, and still some ways to go. 1 out to get. Last out is always the toughest to get. Here's the 0-1, misses high and inside. Ball 1. One count, 2 outs here. Runners on first and second. Curran misses inside. Another 2-1 count. Carroll ahead 2-1 in the count. Curran's pitch outside, strike 2. So once again, 1 strike from trying to get out of this inning and get those bats up. Then California had a chance. They were only down 2 runs going into this inning. Maybe 3 runs, but still not 8. Swung on and missed, so Curran finally gets out of the inning. And California will have some work to do. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. You're watching Vulcan's softball right here on CTV Sports 1, the PSAC Digital Network, and the CUTV family of networks.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student athletes. Last year, over 4,000 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, over 70 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
And welcome back to Lilly Field as we move into the terminal part of this game. Bottom of the 7th, California trailing 14-6. And trying to get back into this game. 14 runs, 14 hits, 3 errors, 6 runs, 6 hits, 6 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors for California.
Number 18, Jenna.
And that'll bring up Jenna Hollerick. So Wes Miller in a very comfortable position if you're in the circle ahead, 8 runs. And with 3 outs only to play with for California. Trying to do whatever they can to make that bus ride back up to Erie a little bit more comfortable with a split here. Here's the pitch, swung on right at the second baseman, knocked down, throw to first. 1 pitch, 1 out. 2 outs left for the Vulcan 9. And that'll bring up Kira Davis, a local product out of Connellsville. So Davis awaiting Wes Miller's first pitch. Wes Miller working kind of slowly despite an 8-run lead. Here's the 1-0. Missed low, ball 2. So Davis trying to start the Vulcans on an improbable comeback here, trying to get on with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Pitch misses outside, 3-0. 3-0 in the dirt. Ball 4. So Davis reaches. A little bit of a pause there as it looks like there might be a change. Maybe a pinch runner over at first. And that will be number 36, Alexa Daniels, going to run for Davis at first.
Running for California, number 36, Alexa Daniels.
So
Now at bat,
Lakin
number
Blackburn.
16, Lakin Blackburn.
So Blackburn being inserted into this game as a substitute. Getting her third at-bat of game number 2. Uh-oh pitch. Bless you to Matt Kiefer. The pollen is definitely out in full effect in Western PA. Clairton and Benadryl sales are going up by the hour. And that's just in this press box as we're all having some issues with allergies. Blackburn unable to keep that in play, 1-1. Blackburn stepping back in. Wes Miller again working very deliberately here. Pitch swung on high. Pop up to the right side of the infield coming on. First baseman Malazzi. 2 outs. The Vulcans are now down to their final out. And that will bring up Michaela Linkus as the last possibly last bastion of hope for the Vulcans. Pitch taken for a strike. Wes Miller, the junior, trying to get her second win of the season in the circle for Gannon. Gannon trying to earn a sweep here in a 3-1 4-game series advantage over the Vulcans here. They swept the 2 games in Erie earlier this season and looking to avenge a Game 1 defeat to the Vulcans this afternoon. 1-1 count to Linkus. And there's a time as everyone steps away. And here's the 1-1. Slapped into center, going back. Over the head, that's going to get to the wall. So Linkus will bring home 1 run. She's going to go over to third. And the Vulcans get 1 back. Make it 14-7. And that'll turn the lineup around, so never say never. So Fiorelli as another mound visit. First pitch misses for a ball. So runner on third, 2 outs, 1-0 is the count. Strike right on the corner, evens the count at 1 apiece. Atherton buying that call with a nice frame job on the outside. Evens the count at 1 apiece, 1-1, 2 outs, bottom 7. Swung on and down the left field line. It will get foul. So California down to their final strike possibly of the afternoon. So Fiorelli as everyone gets back in position on the defense after that foul ball. Awaits the 1-2 pitch. Swung on foul once again, and we reset at 1-2. Again, thank you for joining us today on this Easter weekend. Day we thought would be out of here quickly with a 10-2 start. Got pushed back to 11 and a long game too, but thank you for joining us. Glad we could spend part of the Easter weekend with you. 1-2, swung on in the hole, base hit, and it continues. 14-8, base hit by Fiorelli, and that will bring up Brianna Sursevic. 21st out, proving elusive for the Gannon Golden Knights.
Brianna Sursevic.
And so California now trailing 14-8, 6-run deficit. 2 outs. Never say never. Six runs to put this into extra innings. Right at the pitcher. 1-3 put out, and that ends it. So California putting up a valiant fight in game number 2, being down several runs at several junctures of the game, but will come up short with a 14-8 deficit. For my cameraman, James Anderson, and my earlier cameraman, John Sape, I'm Gary Smith saying thank you for joining us. We'll see you next Saturday for Vulcan baseball versus versus Slippery Rock. So always check CUTV Sports 1 for all the updated information, but we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us. Once again, the final score, Gannon 14, California 8.